All right, it is. Oh, I got to take that off the screen. It is another exciting Monday Night Chill stream here at Exempt Human Specimen. I got a haircut. Actually, got the mole cut, but I tried to get it done last week, and the barbershop was full, and I don't know why there was nobody in there today, so I just ran in. So happy with that, man. I have like hundreds and dozens and dozens and dozens of things to do to get through the show tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them. Somebody like some jerk or some fucking like some federal agent will come in the chat and start fucking with me, and then my mind will get off track, and I'll end up have 17 things left on the fucking page I didn't talk about, and I'll see them next week and go, oh, I got to recycle that shit. So I don't want to do that. I want to get through this very super productive chill stream. This is going to be like massive, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I changed. What is it? It's over here. It's over here. I changed tonight's title. I wasn't going to use it, and then I realized I just respell it differently because I titled tonight's stream "The Whipping Poast," but that's also like a song. I think the Allman Brothers or something like that. But it's a good, very timely title for a bunch of different reasons. Not the least of which is the NBA. I didn't realize there's some guy named Kyrie Irving. I didn't know there's another guy. So there's Kanye. His name starts with a K, and then there's Kyrie Irving. If there's another black dude out there named Kevin who could just do some anti-Semitic stuff in front of a camera, they could be the new KKK, and I would fucking love that. It would be the all black KKK, and that would put us in that would be so appropriately clown worldy that I would be tickled to death. So anybody knows a famous Kevin? Is there a Kevin like Kevin Hart? Kevin Hart. Oh shit, that little black comedian dude. Kevin Hart, Kanye, and Kyrie Irving, the KKK. Can we please? Because Kevin Hart got canceled for the gay jokes or something. He lost out on the Oscars. Oh please, Kevin Hart, grow a set of fucking balls and just come out and they just be like the KKK. These guys could do like a traveling show. You know what I mean? They could go do a stage, like a 3-man show, like worldwide, Kanye, Kyrie, and Kevin. It would be mind-blowing. It would be fucking awesome. If only people would listen to me, I could market this. But I call tonight's show the Whipping Post because I gotta beat myself up. You know what I mean? This is where I beat myself up and admit that I have been like really fucking wrong most of the year. And what am I wrong about? The thing I was wrong about, and I mentioned it earlier on, I was so fucking certain that post-COVID they were going to collapse the fucking economy that I said, whatever, the Federal Reserve, they raise interest rates in May, and the S&P pops 2.5% on the same day, and it's only happened twice before in history, once in 1929 and once in the year 2000. And both times that the Fed raised interest rates 0.5 point and the S&P went up more than 2% on the same day. Both the previous times this happened, the stock market declined 75 to 90% from May to October. Well, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we made it all the way through October, and the stock market is not down 75% or 95%. It's down maybe 25%. And there's no year left. There's almost no year left. So the year is basically over. So there's really not a whole lot of time to crash. I was kind of bargaining with myself, like trying to wheedle and get another week out of it. Like, oh, maybe after the midterms, maybe they'll try and time it to look like something. And don't get me wrong, the White House will probably do that, but the White House, everybody knows the White House doesn't call the shots. You know what I mean? They really don't call the shots on any important shit. So, and I'm not the only one who thought that the entire economy was going to fucking collapse. Tons and tons of people have thought that. But they're the type of people who no one ever says that they're wrong. You know what I mean? Here's one first screen share. I think I have 30 fucking screen shares, like 30 of these. See if I can get through all of them. I don't know if I can get through all of them, but I will do my level best. To get through every single one of these exciting and information-packed screen shares. This was from some Indian guy, not the Indian guy that runs Britain, but maybe he's related to him. But some Indian guy, Anvishka Patel, on November 3rd of this year, so only just a couple of days ago. And it'll just only be a couple more fucking days before the screen share shows up, right? And we're just going to be patient. Here we go. Hedge fund giant Elliott warns looming hyperinflation could lead to a global societal collapse. There's some guy named Elliott, some rich Jewish dude named Elliott thinks the world's going to end. And I've been posting stuff like this. Charlie Munger, what's his name, Warren Buffett's CFO, and a couple of others. And I'm saying, hey, you know what? All these billionaires seem to have the same view that I do. They're seeing the same things. They're seeing the world the same way I am. And I should have realized that that was a big that's like the first red flag. It's a big red flag because I don't have a whole lot in common with billionaires. So like, and there's a couple of things. If I'm wrong, people are going to tell me I'm wrong to my face. They're going to mock me. They're going to point at me and make fun of me. But nobody ever tells a billionaire that they're wrong to their face. Like, no one, you don't do that because then you get kicked out of that billionaire's circle. You know what I mean? You never, if you're friends with a billionaire and your billionaire says tomorrow's going to rain and the next day it's sunny, you don't go, hey, buddy, you were fucking wrong. You know, you just forget to mention it. You know, you're like, well, something weird happened. The clouds went down by Mexico or something. You make up some bullshit story and everyone pretends it didn't happen. But these guys are wrong all the time. And I was thinking about that, thinking about how often these guys are absolutely dead fucking wrong when it comes to predicting things, right? When it comes to, because being a billionaire is not about being smarter than everyone else and accurately predicting a trend. That's not really what it's about. You know, it's about being born close to the fucking source of wealth and getting some sort of exclusive monopoly and getting huge government support for that. But when you don't have that, they fall on their faces. One of the great examples, Donald Trump, in the 1990s was fucking in debt up to his fucking ears, right? Up to his fucking eyeballs. The economy tanked in 92. He was whatever, $1 billion in debt, and he had to go get bailed out by the Rothschilds, which they bailed him out, of course. But these guys can fuck up all the time, and they don't somebody else just fixes it for them. You know what I mean? They don't time the market. And none of them do that. And another Trump-related example that I can think of off the top of my head was Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner, when his father went to prison, he became a billionaire. He bought the property 666 Fifth Avenue. He had to have this because it's 666, of course, right in the middle of Manhattan, right in the middle of Jutropolis. He's got to own that building, but he bought it right before the real estate market tanked in 2008, and he couldn't pay his loan, and the companies were moving out, and couldn't rent the place out because commercial rents, so he had to borrow money from George Soros, and he borrowed a bunch of money from George Soros to limp along for a while, but then he had to pay back George Soros, and when Trump became president, Kushner was in real financial trouble. He was really in fucking trouble. And the White House had to do a special clearance thing for him because he's doing all this, of course, fucking fast and loose deals behind the scenes. While Trump is running around pretending to beat on China, going China, China in front of a microphone and all the fucking goobers fucking eating that shit up. My family fucking thinks it's hilarious when he talks that way. I'm like, what are you, fucking idiotic? Meanwhile, Jared Kushner was going through China, and he had an investment company that had to get special clearance by the White House. An investment company, a real estate investment company, that all you would have to do is put in $500,000, and then they would fast track your citizenship to the United States. You get a fast track green card to the United States. Well, how many chinks want United States citizenship? A lot. You know what I mean? And all these rich guys with their mistresses, they want that for their mistresses so they can move their mistresses out of the country and visit their mistress and their kids away from their wife and not be bothered. So Kushner made like a gazillion fucking dollars essentially selling U.S. citizenship to the Chinese. And with the real estate investment company was what he used to bail himself out on the fucking loans he was underwater with on 666 Fifth Avenue. So these guys are wrong all the fucking time. They always get it wrong, but somebody fixes it, somebody cleans it up, or they have the power to arrange things so that somebody else pays for it. So when I'm going, hey, you know what? I'm seeing a fucking economic collapse. The billionaires are seeing an economic collapse. They're wrong, and I was wrong. And the reason why I'm wrong is because I said it was going to happen this year, and there's no year left. The year is almost empty. We're almost out of year. You know what I mean? It's November, what is it, 6th, 7th? What's today? 7th. November 7th, right? Tomorrow's elections. But November 7th, and it's like this, if the thing was going to crash, it was going to fucking crash. And I'm not the only person who thought this. The sports ball guy I know, he had it in mind as well. A bunch of other people, a lot of negative influences, and not really questioning it. But at the end of the day, when your belief comes into conflict with reality, you always have to choose reality over what you believe. And the reality is the stock market has not declined 75 to 90% between May and October. That just hasn't happened. It sort of maybe could happen, in the next few days, but I don't think it's going to happen. I was wrong. I had fucking, I started with my conclusion and worked backwards. You know what I mean? And so whatever, nobody really got hurt, I don't think, but I was 100% wrong. So I myself, like Kanye, like Kyrie, I have to be tied to the whipping post, and you have to beat me up a little bit because I had it wrong. So I had it very, very wrong. But I will admit that. And the, what's his name? The billionaires will not. So I don't know if I showed this last week. I think I showed this last week. I'm going to show it again just in case. But this ties into what I was just saying. I gotta have a drink. This is thankfully not a sobriety stream. And a very emotional day today. I had a near-death experience. Well, not really a near-death experience. It's a very unpleasant experience. And whatever. Things did not go the way I wanted to. Okay, so I don't know if I showed this last week or not. I might have. Yeah, because this is from October 27th. Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, Facebook, when they bought their own stock back at $330 a share, the stock is now worth $100. The other day it was worth like $95 after a post-earnings crash. So the stock has crashed down from $330 to about $95. So it lost about 66% of its value in a year. And a big company like Facebook and Zuckerberg, who we all know is backed by the fucking government to the hilt, you know what I mean? If they're crashing that much, Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. If they're crashing that much, you think, fuck, if Facebook is crashing, it's all going to crash. A lot of indicators reinforced my bias towards disaster and doom. But that was not. Is this the other one? That was not the case. Yes. All right. This will work. This wasn't the final, but this was earlier today. Earlier today, in the wonderful world of the stock market, Elon Musk, Twitter announced that they're going to fire a whole bunch of people, and everyone got happy. And now they're like, yeah, the layoffs, the Holocaust, the tech worker Holocaust. They're going to fire all these tech workers or blah, 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 blah. All they're doing is firing curry munchers from fucking India who work for $1.50 an hour. What's up on the screen? Let me make that a little bigger. So this is the a stock chart, a daily stock chart for Meta, which is the Facebook platform, right? So you see it's in the green, $95.13. It was actually up 4%. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg said he's going to fire thousands of people. And Wall Street loves it when you lay people off. So Facebook dropped from 330 down to 95 because they have no money. But then Mark Zuckerberg says, I'm going to fire 10,000 people. And the stock pops 4% on a day when the market didn't really do anything. It actually ended up pumping like 6.5% based off the fact that Mark Zuckerberg said he's going to fire a bunch of curry munchers in Bombay, and then all of a sudden this is somehow going to fucking save Facebook. I don't know how the fuck it's going to save Facebook, because it's not going to save Facebook. But overall, everything is always about the money. It's never not about the money. Money talks and bullshit walks, right? We all know this. You need to be reminded of it on occasion, and it's good to see the intersection of money, politics, and a bunch of other things. This was from not that long ago. I like this guy's tweet. I don't know if I follow him or not, but I like this guy's tweet. But people are opportunists everywhere. Opportunists. And this is a bit sarcastic, but it kind of makes the point. You know, a guy says, can someone good at math explain to me how inflation is 9%, but everything costs 40% more? Right? you're being taken advantage of. That's absolutely, everyone's being taken advantage of, and there isn't much you can do to stop it. There's not a great deal. Well, there's some things you can do to stop it. There's some things you can do to stop it, but yeah, 9% inflation and everything else goes up 40%. Even me, where am I? What am I doing here? I'm looking at the wrong box. Even me, I'm so emotional. Here's what I'm drinking tonight. This is like a $13 bottle of wine. $13 bottle of wine. I usually drink like a $6 bottle of wine. It's like $13. What am I spending that much money for? I'm gonna have to go fucking sexually abuse myself after this. This is like a date bottle of wine, and I don't even have a date. Seriously, folks. One of the things you can do, you think, well, what can I do? I shop at Walmart, James. I'm not like a super rich dude. I'm not like a Wall Street guy. What am I going to do? You talk about all this crazy stuff. What can I do? What can I do to fight inflation? I'll tell you what you can do to fight inflation at Walmart. You think I can't fight inflation at Walmart? And I'm like, oh, you don't know how 2022 life really is. You have no idea how 2022 life really is. You aren't going to believe this is true, but this is in fact true. This is, I like, even we couldn't believe this. Even the Bitcoin people couldn't believe this. Yes, what you were looking at, believe it or not, Walmart sells an Antminer S19 Bitcoin ASICs miner. You can mine Bitcoin at home, assuming you have some cheap electricity. You can buy a Bitcoin mining machine from Walmart for the low price of $35.99, $3,599. Walmart, save money, live better. That is a very real thing. You can go to the Walmart website and put in Antminer S19, and you can buy and mine Bitcoin at home. So you don't just have the hardware wallets to store the Bitcoin. You can actually buy a mining rig to mine Bitcoin in your own home. Hopefully you live in a very cold place. Red pilled me on Candace Owens. Candace Owens. I don't know. What do I know about Candace Owens? She's some black girl who did porn in order to become famous. They all do. They all go through that Israeli porn company to become a famous conservative. Like what's the name? What's the Puerto Rican one? Who's the Puerto Rican one that was big with Julian Assange? I can't remember her name. Can't remember. What do you listen, Judas Flychai? You can't. Oh, listen. Good point. Back to Kyrie Irving and black people. Kyrie Irving just got, the ADL is shaking him down for $500,000 because he said, I like this movie. There's a movie called Hebrews to Negroes, which what is that about? Some small hat who owns a fucking building in Harlem? What the fuck is that? What is that? Well, it turns out what that really is. There's a belief among a lot of blacks that they were the original Israelites, that they're the original Hebrews, the real Hebrews, and that their chosenness was stolen from them, and they were forced into being Negro slaves by I don't know, even white men. I don't know who did it, but there's a movie. There's actually a movie about that, and this is the thing. This Kyrie Irving, who's a multimillionaire sports ball guy. He's into this. You know what I mean? He's into this. There's a dude who gets paid to play a game and probably can't read much better than LeBron James. He gets paid. I think he gave up $15 million. Gave up $15 million this year because he didn't want to get the COVID vax or something like that. They sat him out the whole season. He missed like 8 figures of cash. Imagine a Negro who could walk past 15 mil. And he recommends this movie, and ADL's like, if you ever want to throw a ball into a hoop ever again, you got to write a book report and give us $500,000 and do blah 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 blah. So they tied Kyrie Irving, they tied him to the whipping post, and like, all you uppity Negroes, you will behave. There will be no slave revolt on the kosher plantation. That's just not happening. They will whip as many of them as hard as they need to for as long as they need to until this slave uprising, particularly the sports ball guys, well, not Kanye's not a sports ball guy, but yeah, but the NBA is 90% black and the NFL is 70% black. They don't want this. They don't want this going. Getting out of hand. You know what I mean? They're going to make examples of these guys. So they're going to publicly beat them and humiliate them. And even if it doesn't break Kyrie or Kanye, it's going to scare the crap out of the other ones. It's always about making somebody an example to keep the other ones in line. They don't the one particular one or the other doesn't really make that much of a difference. But that's it's pretty funny now that, and maybe you could tell Kyrie Irving, that he can buy a Bitcoin mining machine, and mine Bitcoin at home. Where else? I'm trying to think where else I want to go with this. I got so much stuff, so much, Jesus Christ, so much stuff. Stay on the Bitcoin thing. I guess we'll stay on the Bitcoin thing. What is this one? Oh yeah, for me, enjoying the 2022ness of it all. I drove. When did I go to? Saturday. I go to Virginia. I pull up to the warehouse. I get my box, small box. I walk out, and there's a dude, Middle Eastern dude, in a nice white Nissan Maxima, and he says, "Are you going to Virginia?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to Virginia." He says, this piece is going to Virginia too. I said, "Yeah, that's great." I'm walking to my car. He says, "Listen, why don't you?" He says, "Drive this one down for me." He says, and then he says, "I'll give you $100." I said, "What?" He said, He says, "You're going to Virginia. You're going to the same place. I'll give you $100. You deliver this one." I said, "How am I going to get the $100?" So he says, "Oh, I'll give it to you with Cash App." And I have Cash App on my phone, but I don't have it set up right. And then he says, "I'll give it to you by Zelle." Zelle is it's a Wells Fargo money transfer thing that's on your phone. So I said, "Yeah, all right, I'll do that." You know what I mean? I should have held out for more money, but I just wanted to do it. Just wanted to feel like street hustler again, like in the 90s when I drove taxis. But here's the message, right? Muhammad sent me $100, right? That was deposited into my Wells Fargo account. So he sends me the money, like right there in the parking lot. I take the box from him. I put it in my car. It's a 2-pound box. And that's it. I drive to Virginia. Now, Muhammad thinks he's a genius because this job pays now, they upped the price on the job. The job pays $451, right? Muhammad's giving me 100. That means he's making $350 to stay home. Muhammad thinks what a genius he is. He's like, this is like the golden age of Islam as far as he's concerned. But so anyway, so I'm going down there anyway. I'm going to do the job. So I don't know what he does. He goes home and does whatever he does. So where's this one? Is this it? Is this it? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So he keeps $350. I take an extra 100 and I drive down to Virginia. What did I do with the extra $100? Well, come on, everybody. You know what I did. You know what I did. I smashed up the buy button on Bitcoin. I just bought $100 worth of Bitcoin. And when I got down there, I took a picture of the person who signed the paperwork for him. I texted him the picture on his phone, and he called it in, and spelled out the name, and that's that. And so that was fun. That was like a fun addition to my Saturday night. Sunday was whatever, boring day. But there's the receipt. There's $100 I bought in Bitcoin. Thank you, Mohammed. So Muhammad did not come to the mountain, or he made the mountain come to, I don't know, whatever, something Muhammad and mountains. Muhammad's basically a lazy dude. But I think I've opened up a new revenue stream for lazy brown people. lazy brown people who don't want to actually do the jobs that they're contracted to do. Because Muhammad's sitting there outside, like he doesn't want to do this drive. And he's got a nice car. He had a much nicer car than me. He's a way nicer car than me, like way nicer car. My car you wouldn't want to get into. His car you'd get into. He's got leather seats. It's all beautiful and new and shiny. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll take your money. He thinks he's a genius, but every time I see him, he's going to look to pay me to do shit. So that's more Bitcoin for me. Judas Fletchai in the chat, Mazel Tov on the new Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin given to me by foreigners. I'm going to get somebody to give me Bitcoin. I can't get nobody in the chat. I have 55 subscribers now. I can't get any of my 55 subscribers to send me Bitcoin. So I got to go shake down brown people with I had a long beard, tall, skinny dude. I got to go shake down brown skin foreigners to get my Bitcoin fix. Can you believe that? The things I'm forced to do? Whatever. It makes me, anyway, I was happy about this. I was happy about that. So let's continue. What was that? Where are we going to go? Other stuff for brown people in Bitcoin. Let's stick with brown people in Bitcoin for the moment. Brown people and Bitcoin, how do they go together? Well, this isn't really brown people. This is actually white people. This will work. We'll take it. We'll take it where we can get it. And like I said, this is like all about innovation and smart people finding ways to solve problems. There's a South African solar power company called Sun Exchange, and they are paying out their stock dividends to investors in Bitcoin. So you're in South Africa, you got to invest in a solar power company, right? Any extra electricity they use to mine Bitcoin, and they send you the Bitcoin as dividends. This is from 5 November 2022. Not bad, boys. So a lot of African, a lot of stuff in Africa. That would be like the high-tech way to get Bitcoin. This is even more creative and even more African in a lot of ways. Much more African if this would show up. Screen share, and it doesn't want to do it. There was a problem. I want to hear about solutions. We're going to do it again, and this time it's going to work. It's going to work the second time. If at first you don't succeed, just, I don't know, try it again. Did you try plugging it in and restarting it? No, go back. There, where are we at? Here we go. I don't know where Malawi is. Malawi is in Africa. Malawi is people in Africa need an alternative to their really crappy currencies. So a lot of them, many turning to Bitcoin. But you think, well, Malawi, how advanced could Malawi be? Well, apparently Malawi is a fucking total shithole. But there are merchants in Malawi, and I've said this before, don't need the internet, and you really don't need a computer to send Bitcoin. It's been sent with a shortwave radio, okay? They're using 1990s text cell phones, like Ericsson phones from 1997, to send Bitcoin without internet and without a computer. This is a signal that cannot be stopped. You may not be impressed with this right now, and you're saying, well, how much Bitcoin could this dude in Malawi be sending on that little phone? Probably not a great deal, but it's real money to them that they can trade back and forth with no one stopping them, okay? And this is in a place where, again, I would not want to be in Malawi ever, but where there's a will, there's a way. And this thing's taking root in places, like I said, doing things, solving problems. You don't have, I don't live in the third world, blah, blah, blah. I you don't live in the third world, but not yet. You don't. Not yet. You don't. So what else? Here's another one. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. But what about the Middle East, James? It was not really the Middle East. What about the Levant? The Levant, our friends in Lebanon. How's things in Lebanon going? How's things in downtown Beirut? Used to be a bar I used to drink at in the 1980s in Manhattan called Downtown Beirut. It was a cool spot. It was a cool spot back in the days, like a punk rock bar. I wasn't really a punk rocker, but a friend of mine was. Okay. In bankrupt Lebanon, locals $1 is now worth 15 cents. Published Saturday, November 5th, 22, by Mackenzie Segalos. Once known for its stable and investment-friendly banking system, sound familiar? Lebanon has now plunged into chaos as hyperinflation grips the country and banks force huge haircuts on dollar withdrawals. A huge haircut means they take your money. They don't give you all of your money. So Bitcoin continuing to work in places where the local money doesn't work. And you say, we're not there yet. And I understand we're not there yet. And we're not getting there this year. This year, all the doom and gloom stuff, all the billionaires are wrong, all that hype was wrong. I've admitted I'm wrong. And I am now untying myself from the whipping post and moving on with my life. And I don't remember if I showed this last week or not, because it doesn't have a date on it. It does not have a date. But I made the point that Greenpeace tried to get Bitcoin to change its code. They tried a couple of different things. They tried a program. They have a website called Change the Code, blah, 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 blah. And what they've done now, they've gone to actually finding Bitcoin developers, the people that write the software, and bribing them to actually, there must be some kind of money under the table, bribing them to tell Bitcoiners to accept these changes when the developers don't control Bitcoin. There is no one group that controls Bitcoin. There are 5 constituencies, and there is no one in charge. The people behind Greenpeace don't understand that. Just find the leaders, just find the influencers, just pay them off money under the table, and then the sheep will follow. Well, that's not Bitcoin. You don't understand consensus. You don't understand consensus governance. So this article, and I think it was a recent one, Greenpeace USA's misinformed environmental attacks only energize and galvanize Bitcoiners. That is to say, we just hate you even more. Underlying disinformation exposed during Greenpeace USA's Change the Code campaign only served to rally the Bitcoin community. Yeah, we don't listen to you. We're not. You don't understand leaderless and permissionless around that, and that's good. Spend more time and money failing. It gives us lulls. We use this as comedy. This is fun. Here's what we know that a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know this because I never read the Communist Manifesto. But a lot of people, I think, on the dissident right, the right-wing cranks, really are communists. They're just communists who don't like Jews. They don't want to work. They have no ability to create goods or provide valuable services. They just want money for nothing. They think that somehow there's going to be some kind of red pill revolution, and then we're going to make all the Negroes swim back to Africa with a Jew strap to their back, and then they'll have this fucking they'll live in a fucking mansion, and all they'll do is a crappy podcast all day talking about how much the Jews suck, and they'll be credited with saving the fucking white race, or I don't know what the fuck they think is going to happen. But trust me, ain't none of that going to happen. I didn't know this because I've never read the Communist Manifesto, but the fifth plank, the fifth plank of communism is central banks, centralization of credit in the hands of the state by means of a national bank with state capital and an exclusive monopoly. This was posted by Jackson at MacroJack21 on November 1st, 2022, just a few days ago. And then somebody below that, I don't know what the fuck guy's name is. His first response is to reprint it in German. So it's like Zentralisation das Credits in dein Handen distruten, whatever the fuck. I can't speak German. Everybody knows I can't speak German. So I shouldn't even try. I really should not even try. But if the fifth plank of communism is a central bank, whether you're a Bitcoin person or you're not a Bitcoin person, you should be against central banks, right? Everybody here is against communism, right? I mean, can we all agree with that? Excuse me, my fellow white people, my fellow anti-communists, you're against communism, right? Nobody here is a pro-communist because you're either for communism, in which case you really don't belong on my fucking channel, or you're against communism. And if you're against communism, you must be against central banks. Central banks are critical to the implementation of communism. The central banks must be destroyed legally, peacefully, but that must happen. No central authority telling you when you can buy, when you can sell, whom you can buy to, whom you can sell to. If you are pro-central bank, if you're cool with central banks, you're cool with communism. So you may think Bitcoin's a bad idea, it's not going to work, I don't know, whatever the fuck you think, and I don't care what the fuck you think. But you have to come up with something. Your idea has to include an economy with no central banks. Now, I don't know what you think that's going to look like. But you must, on principle, be opposed to central banking, like the American Patriots were, like Andrew Jackson, like President Tyler, like even like fucking Abraham Lincoln, like John F. Kennedy. You know what I mean? Some of those guys caught bullets. Some of them didn't catch. Some of them dodged a bullet. You know what I mean? Jackson died, old and happy in his bed. And apparently the last thing Andrew Jackson said before he died was, "I killed the banks," as a boast. Right before he was taken off to Christendom, or his eternal reward, or whatever I guess he was a religious guy. But this is the world. This is the world you live in. What is this? What did I ever put here? What did I put here? Oh yeah, here's the Kyrie Irving guy. Here, I didn't realize I screenshotted what they did to him. Here's a dude. He's like, brother having a deep think. Super deep think. Was it come up on the screen? It's being tardy. It's on colored people time. Colored people never show up on time for appointments. CPT. It's a notorious thing. It is a notorious thing. Show the tweet. The tweet, of course, is from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency in a joint statement with the Brooklyn Nets and the Anti-Defamation League Wednesday night. Kyrie Irving said he took responsibility for his tweet promoting an anti-Semitic film. He wasn't in the film. He didn't bankroll the film. He didn't write the film. He didn't even show the film to anyone. He just said he liked that movie. Yeah. So he's going to take responsibility and donate $500,000. So the small hats have robbed the basketball Americans, or this basketball American, for $500,000 and made him publicly apologize. This is 2 November 2022. It just happened days ago. There's Kyrie, finally figuring out, who really holds the power, right? Who has the power to shake down millionaires and multimillionaires? My sports ball friend says, "Oh, that team is owned by a Chinese guy." there may be some Chinese owner, but the ADL still tells the NBA what to do. And there was a bunch of people at the game with "Stop Anti-Semitism" shirts, right on the front row, right on the court side or whatever, right where this guy stands or sits or whatever. I don't know what the fuck. And of course, they're a bunch of Jews. You know what I mean? And I said to this guy, I said, if a Chinese guy really ran the Brooklyn Nets, wouldn't the T-shirt say "Stop Asian Hate"? Right? Think about it. Think about all the Asians that get robbed, raped, murdered, beaten, their fucking stores destroyed by blacks, and you see it on Twitter, you see it all over social media. Wouldn't it be if a Chinese guy, right? If a Chinese guy really was in control, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the Chinese guy didn't buy it, but he's over in fucking Beijing eating rice with chopsticks. He's not paying attention to the NBA. It's an investment for him. The small hats still run that up and down. They make it political. They don't make it political. They get the ADL to find this guy. They suspend him. It's run. The NBA is a plantation owned by small hats and worked by really, really athletic, darkies. You know what I mean? So they done work real hard. I done took the rock to the hole, massa. Yeah, you did. There you go. Here's a fucking sneaker contract, right? So, every now they all have to pretend that it really didn't happen. All have to pretend that it really didn't happen. But the good news and the reason why they did, I think they didn't crash. I think they did not crash the economy because, and I've said this a bunch of times, they're not ready to. Like the idea, like guys like did I fucking ban him? Trad Dad. Yeah, I think I banned him. One of the guys I banned. Whatever. I'm just fucking banning people left right now. Trad Dad's like the government's going to make a central bank digital currency, and then they're going to take over Bitcoin. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Bitcoin. Not in Malawi, not in South Africa, not in America, not anywhere. Cell phone. Trust me. And ain't fuck all the government can do this. I'm back. Okay. Oh wow, this really sucks running this thing off of self, but at least whatever. We go on. We go on. We go on. We go on. Another big DC, another big central bank digital currency flop. And here's what really come next. It's not what the elite hoped for. This is from Zero Hedge, which of course is written by a bunch of different people. This is from Wednesday, November 2nd of 2022. Last year, I didn't even know this. Last year, Nigeria launched its much ballyhooed e-Naira. I guess their money's called the Naira. Africa's first central bank digital currency. So they tried out this central bank digital currencies in a small little economy that they figured that they can control, right? If it works in Africa, we can make it work anywhere. Central bankers, academics, politicians, and an assortment of elites from over 100 countries hoping to launch their own CBDs have closely watched the e-Naira. Well, guess what? It flopped. Nobody used it. Less than 20% of the people in Nigeria use the e-Naira. They all prefer to use cash. So the central bank digital currency experiment in Nigeria, total flop. When I tell you they're not ready, they're not ready. They're not ready, and they aren't going to be ready. And I don't think they're going to crash this economy, the one we currently sort of live in, until they're ready with the CBDCs. And oh yeah, the sports ball guy also told me Something very, very, very interesting because we're talking about a bunch of stuff about the market and a bunch of few things. But here's the Fed boasting about shit they don't have, like shit that they wish they could do. This is their fucking wish list of things that they wish they could fucking do that they cannot do. And this is directly because the Bitcoin Lightning Network their fucking heads. And if you don't know what the Bitcoin Lightning Network is, you should Google it because it's a way to send Bitcoin super fast, like literally in seconds, for almost nothing. There was a great demo of that on Twitter. People, they had 4, 5, or 6 cell phones, and they went one to the other, to the other, to the other, like literally in seconds. Okay, so this is from what's the source? Gold Telegraph. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says central bank digital currencies could, keyword there, could reduce FX foreign exchange transaction speeds to 10 seconds from a 2-day process. And then Gold Telegraph says, own hard assets, protect yourself, because Gold Telegraph, they push gold. You want to buy gold, buy gold. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only purpose gold has is as an industrial metal. Gold is used in circuit boards on computers, and computers are used to mine, share, and store Bitcoin. Gold is Bitcoin's servant, whether you want to believe it or you don't want to believe it, because the motherfuckers in Malawi are not trading they're not trading gold coins. You know what I mean? They got their little 90s cell phones out and they're sending Bitcoin back and forth. They're not sending gold back and forth. Gold doesn't go through the air very far or very reliably. So yeah, the Fed thinks someday they're going to be able to get foreign exchange transfers down to 10 seconds. Yeah, keep working on it, boys. Keep working on it. You're not even fucking nowhere near close. Nowhere near close. Okay, what's this one from? This guy posted this a bunch of times, but it still makes a point. Talking about Nigeria. You talk about Nigeria and people used to, but nowadays all I'm hearing is Bitcoin is for Africa. Anybody listen to rap back in the 1980s know that song? What was it called? I don't even know what the song was called. Times are changing. But it was, you talk about Nigeria and people used to laugh at you. Nowadays, all I'm hearing is USA for Africa. Back when they did the USA for Africa thing back in the days. So I updated it. I changed the lyrics around. Okay, so Google searches for how to buy Bitcoin. On the left, USA, how to buy Bitcoin since the price dropped. Nobody's interested in it. The interest in buying Bitcoin goes to zero. In Nigeria, however, as the money becomes worthless, the interest in the chart on the right, the orange squiggly line going up from the low left to the right, as the money dies, your local money dies that you think is real money, the money you grew up with, the money that's real money you can reach out and touch. As that dies, it becomes worthless. All of a sudden, how to buy Bitcoin becomes a real fucking popular search. The Nigerians aren't doing this because they're super geniuses, because they're against communism or central banking. The fucking Nigerians don't know anything about this fucking shit. You know what I mean? All they know is they want some fucking jollof rice and a bottle of wine and leave them the fuck alone. That's all they really know. But when the money stops working, they're going to look for something else that works, right? And you're saying America's not there yet. And you're right. Thank God that America's not there yet, that we're not there yet. But we're going to get there. There's no way we're not going to get there, okay? They won't shut off the money printer. They're not going to do that. How much more money goes out the door to fucking Ukraine? Which we got to talk about Ukraine. Man, we got to talk about Ukraine. A lot, where's, but whatever. The closer we get to things not working, things being insane, the more this crazy shit that I'm talking about is going to fucking make sense. This is, I used to do this. I can't believe I used to do this when I was 16 years old. I used to fucking ride these trains. somehow I magically did not die, and I was riding them in. I did not die, did not get jumped. But the world gets crazier and crazier. You go, well, that's not me. That's not where I live, and blah, 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 blah. But this, sooner or later, the craziness is going to, the tide is going to reach so high, it's going to affect you. And then you're going to have to solve problems you never thought you were going to have. This is from the other day, a story out of the Bronx. Man selling Metro card swipes, stabs commuter in the neck at Bronx subway station. So in order to get a New York City subway, there's an electronic card, a card you buy that you swipe through the turnstile, right? And different people, I don't know how they get these. They get a card with like 20 rides on it, and some crackhead, he doesn't want to ride the subway. He wants the the $60 to go buy crack. You know what I mean? So he'll stand in front of the turnstile and tell you and say, hey, listen, buy give me $3 and I'll swipe you through. And everybody pretends it doesn't happen because the police aren't going to bother to arrest them. And apparently somebody said, no, I'm not giving you $3 to swipe me through. I got my own Metro card or whatever, or get a job, or I don't know, whatever he said. But a fight ensues, and the dude who's selling the Metro card rides stabs this commuter in the neck. The commuter managed to live, but you don't want to get stabbed in the neck. I did a show on being stabbed in the neck. You could die in 12 fucking seconds. So this guy got super lucky that he got stabbed in the neck and did not die in 12 seconds. But try explaining that to your boss. Try explaining, and you go, well, all right, that's one guy, but what? Okay, how about everybody else that has to get on that fucking subway line? How about everybody that has to go to that subway station after seeing this? Like, how miserable is your life? That's something that didn't even involve you, right? That had nothing to do with you, that you would never interact with in a million years, makes you terrified to use public transport. And you go, oh, that's not me. It's New York, blah, 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 blah. Listen, stuff like this has happened in Baltimore. It happens in Philly. It happens in Boston. It happens in LA. It happens in Miami. And right now it's happening far away from you, and it doesn't seem to affect you. But I swear to God, it will. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better. It isn't going to get better. Let's talk about Ukraine. Let's skip the Bronx and go to a nice civilized place like the Ukraine. One of the punk ass things about the right wingers, because you're all fucking, you're not really right wingers. You're just fucking communists who don't like Jews. That's the way you're communists who don't like Jews. You don't do any fucking work, and you do not produce any goods nor provide any services of fucking value. My opinion, until you prove otherwise, you're a fucking communist who doesn't like Jews. That's all you are. And I have no use for communists. You know what I mean? Other than they probably make good fertilizer. There's a meme, or there was a meme some time back. America's falling apart. No, America is being killed. America is not dying, it's being killed, and the people responsible have names and addresses. Mr. Flychai. America is not dying. It's not falling apart. It's being torn apart and destroyed or killed, or however you want to phrase it. And the people doing it have names and addresses. Keep that in mind. Greater Khazaria. This is an idea like the Greater Yinon program, where Israel decided they wanted all the nation states around them destroyed and brought down to the low-level tribal warfare, below nation-state level, so that Israel would have total military supremacy over all of them, Iraq, et cetera, no one would threaten them. There's a concept called the Greater Khazaria. Apparently, the Khazars used to control all of Ukraine. I don't know the history of Ukraine a whole lot, and I'm not particularly interested in it. Would the Jews come up with a Greater Khazaria plan and put it into action, and would it involve war? The Greater Yinon plan involved war. It involved America getting into 7 wars in 5 years, 5 wars in 7 years. I can't remember what it was. General Wesley talked about it. But there was a meme that said, defense spending and infrastructure. If defense spending and infrastructure made America prosperous, then why don't we bomb our own cities? Right? That was the ultimate kind of sarcastic. If spending money on defense and infrastructure, right? The Republicans in defense, the Democrats at infrastructure, high-speed rail, bridge to the 21st century, all the fucking bullshit there, like all the excuses. Oh, infrastructure. If spending money on the military and infrastructure made America prosperous, then why don't we bomb our own cities? Right? You get to burn up all the weapons, and then you have to rebuild. And it's a meme that kind of died because it was too legit. It was way too legit. But that's what's happening in Ukraine right now. That is what is happening in the Ukraine right now. Where is it? Is this the one? No. God, that's another Bitcoin. I don't want to see the Bitcoin thing. Enough with the Bitcoin stuff. Where is it? Here. I just saw this. This is one of the things that slipped. I got this from Gab. And now I will explain to you the entire Ukraine situation. Hey, Base Snakes, welcome to the show. Are you checking in from Utah, or are you checking in from Fort Meade? Let us know. Type a U for Utah or an F for Fort Meade. Watch this. You didn't see this, and this is bigger than you think. Zelensky, you know who that guy is, right? This is from the New York Times. Zelensky meets with BlackRock chief to discuss reconstruction fund. This was September 19th, 2022. President Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine met with Lawrence D. Fink to pay government salaries and pensions and to cover other expenses. So $60 billion out the door, paid for by the American taxpayer to destroy Ukraine. How much is it going to cost to rebuild Ukraine? How much is it going to cost to rebuild the Ukraine? So we're not bombing our own cities because, white people might get jobs from that. And bombing American cities would kill too many black people. And then who would play sports ball for the Jewish NBA owners? But bombing foreign cities, you know what? That's great. We'll just bomb the shit out of Ukraine and then we'll rebuild it. And when I say we, I mean the American taxpayer, right? But you're going to say, but Ukraine will be destroyed. What will they have to offer as collateral? Well, Ukraine has a lot of agricultural production. It has a lot of mining, a lot of valuable mining and ores, and it has oil. So guess who is going to have the agricultural output, the mining and fucking oil of Ukraine? Guess who? It starts with black and it ends with rock. Starts with black and ends with rock. Yes, Base Snakes. I know you're from the USA, but which alphabet agency do you work for? That's what we want to know. That is what we want to know. How much of the tax dollars do I generate go for your little cubicle there in wherever fucking Quantico or wherever the fuck you are? So that's what it is. We are bombing for profit. Okay, and it's not the first time America has done it. Back in 1996, and I remember this when Clinton was president, when smart bombs first became a thing, we bombed the shit out of a pharmaceutical factory in the Sudan because the CIA supposedly, I don't know how the fuck they knew, they flew a small plane to a riverbed downstream from where this factory was, and they took a soil sample and they brought it back, super James Bond, karate chop machine gun style, to the lab, and they put it in a little thing, and oh my God, it's chemical weapons. They claimed there's a chemical weapons plant. So Clinton smart bombed it. And the first GPS guided bombs blew the fuck out of the fucking facility. Well, guess what? It was a pharmaceutical factory. It wasn't a chemical weapons factory. But that was like the only sub-Saharan pharmaceutical factory in Africa at the time. So anybody that wanted medicine in Africa had to buy it from America afterwards. So we were bombing for profit. And I remember reading that in the early days of the internet when the internet was free. And I thought, oh, that's crazy. But now I realize somebody was telling the truth back then. Somebody who understood the world a lot better than I did at the time. But I understand it a lot better now. The reason why we're warring in Ukraine, and it doesn't matter because ain't no Jews dying. It's all white guys dying, right? We're going to spend $1 gazillion. All those weapons got to be all those weapons that we're giving to Ukraine. Well, we got to make new ones to replenish our arsenals. Fucking money churning, boom, 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 right? And then everything we destroy, we're going to have to rebuild a Marshall Plan for Ukraine. And if you think suitcases full of $100 bills are going missing now, wait till the fucking construction bill hits. Wait till the fucking construction bill hits. And what will the Jews get? They will get a completely 21st century American-made, super fucking slick Greater Khazaria, right? And the people of Ukraine will be worse off than the fucking NBA guys because they'll be working the fucking mines, pumping the fucking oil, and growing the fucking food that will be taken away from them and sold off probably to American taxpayers at a fucking hefty profit for BlackRock. So, have you heard that fucking take before? No, you haven't heard that take before. That's why you pay the money you pay to be a subscriber on this channel. This is like that movie Candyman. I say feds 3 times and Norman Hobbs appears in the chat. How fucking funny is that? How funny is that? All right. And then lastly, this one's kind of like super obvious. This is like a super obvious one. Here, wait a minute, go back. What happened? Go back. Do what I want you to do. This one's a super obvious one. And I've said it before. I've said it a dozen, 100 dozen times that Elon Musk is not your fucking savior. And I don't believe in any of this shit, by the way. Understand, I believe in shooting people in the face and hitting them with baseball bats. Like I did just now. Did you hear me, you fucking retard? Turn down your heart monitor, fucking. Hey, Norvin, turn down your fucking heart monitor. I just called you a fed. Such a guy, you gotta come to a show that's run off of a cell phone with 55 subscribers. That's how much of a fucking loser you are, right? You do what they fucking tell you to do. Man, like, why don't you just be on welfare and just be on welfare and smoke some fucking weed, eat some fucking edibles and wait for your fucking, final fucking day. Stop working for them. Your life is a waste as it is. Okay, so here's Elon Musk from a couple of years ago, a Halloween party where this is like, I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be. It's the name for the costume. It's like not Satan's minion. It's like Satan's knights or something. And I don't know how can I zoom in on this? Let's see if we can zoom in. Oh, that's pretty good. It looks good on my end. Let's see how it looks on the screen. It looks like a fucking cockroach wrapped in red leather or something. I don't know what the fuck he looks like. But there's like a goat's head on his chest, and in the middle of the goat's head is an upside down cross. Right? So he dressed, this was how Elon dressed a couple of years ago at at Heidi Klum's Halloween party. I don't know what year this was, but it was relatively recent. But long enough ago that, he's really very fat now. He don't look like that no more, but he's still pasty, but at least he was closer to normal body weight. So this whole Elon Musk is going to save us, blah, 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 blah. And listen, all this shit, fucking dopey. Oh, I'm the agent of the devil costume or whatever the fuck. That's the same like these fucking whatever. Like anybody that went to a fucking rock concert, like an Ozzy Osbourne concert in the 1980s did this. Like everyone in the 1980s at AC/DC or whatever they fucking. This is not. Trust me, this is retarded. The other retarded thing that they always do, right? They come out and they do what was the fucking The one that Fauci did. I don't know what the fuck. It's like the Boy Scout. I was like a Boy Scout thing. But listen, they tell them before they go in front of the camera, go like this with your one finger up like that and one finger like this. And they go, okay, I'll do that. And then they'll tell another guy, oh, stick your hand in your fucking shirt like this, so you're a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Mason. Really? Here, this is how tough it is to do. Okay, take a picture of me now. Look, I'm a 33rd degree Mason. You fucking idiots. You fucking retards. People buy into this like, yeah, oh yeah, he did the thing with his hand, and then he did the Ozzy Osbourne thing. What the fuck is wrong with you? Base stakes. Look at you. Based. Wow, Ben Hammer swung. And the show moved on. It's sad. You don't work for anyone. Norman Hobbs in the chat. I don't work for anyone. You spaz because you're useless. As a human being, you're useless. Did you really decide I must be a Fed because I invited you on a stream and pass challenge and forgot? Yeah, you forgot. Of course, you're a forgetful guy. You're always with the important teaching tools about white nationalism. He's a teaching tool. He's a teacher. I just happened to stream with the fucking Bateman, the sperm sucker, and Ovi, the fucking pedophile. The company you keep, right? It's the company you keep. You chose them. You invite them on every fucking week. And then you fucking sell it like, oh, I need them because they can do 45 minutes of content. You can't do your own content. You just admitted what a fucking empty-headed moron you are. Look at little Base Snakes. He doesn't understand the Ben Hammer swings, and the show moves on. Imagine thinking fucking attention from you twats. Imagine thinking that I want attention from you guys. You are deeply mistaken. That's why I notice when the fucking numbers on this, the count, there's a count for me. I see a counter up here with the number of viewers. As it goes higher and higher, that's when I know I'm receiving attention from the federal government. I'm receiving. It's not really the tax dollars I want. The value for tax dollars. When I pass by like the crews that are filling the potholes on the New Jersey Turnpike in the middle of the night, I love those guys. They jump at the fucking roads. It's amazing how fast they can smooth out miles and miles and miles of fucking highway. I am continually impressed by them, and I know they're paid out of tax dollars. So for those guys, thank you. We need to find some domestic terrorists, go out and make them. Those federal employees, I do not care for quite as much. Speaking of the U.S. federal government, the United States Attorney's Office, Southern District of New York, Department of Justice, for immediate release, Monday, November 7th, 2022. Headline, U.S. Attorney announces historic $3.36 billion cryptocurrency seizure and conviction in connection with the Silk Road dark web fraud. In November of 2021, law enforcement seized over 50,000, this is a lot, 50,676 Bitcoin hidden in devices in defendant James Zong, that's no relation to me, sounds like a chopstick jockey, in James Zong's home. Zong has now pled guilty to unlawfully obtaining that Bitcoin from the Silk Road dark web in 2012. So FedGov cleaning up the Bitcoin space, catching all the criminals, putting them in jail. He pled guilty to committing wire fraud in September of 2012. So they grabbed this guy and, basically they went through his, I think they said they found like I swear to God, like a laptop in a potato chip box or potato chip tin underneath some blankets. That's where they found 50,676 Bitcoin. This is all like the Bitfinex hackers, those two jerks that I showed months ago. You think they're fucking James Bond super geniuses, some kind of fucking evil mastermind. They're dorks. They're fucking retarded dorks who are handed the fucking passwords and all the keys. They just happen to be this fucking far away from the money and they reach out and take it. And then when they store it like when I got scammed out of my Bitcoin a couple of years back, I kept it all in one place. You know what I mean? And I fucking lost 5.86 Bitcoin. And that was a huge fucking blow to me. Huge fucking blow to me. Okay. But I, like a retard, I left it all in one place. And I told myself I should spread it out. I should do this, but I never did it. Okay. But I only had 5.86 Bitcoin. I didn't have 50,676 Bitcoin like James Zong, who left it in a laptop inside a potato chip bag underneath some fucking blankets for the FBI to grab. He didn't even bother to try and secure it. The Bitfinex hackers left all their Bitcoin, which was 120,000 Bitcoins, in a Dropbox account. And all the FBI had to do was find their Uber password and try their Uber password against everything. And boom, it unlocked the fucking Dropbox. And that's it. That's how they fucking grabbed them. None of these people are super geniuses. The criminal mastermind doesn't fucking exist. There's no such thing as a criminal mastermind. That's a Hollywood fucking creation. That's Jews fucking patting themselves in the back for fucking stealing shit by fucking turning the government's head the other way. By turning the government's head the other way. So yeah, clean up things for what's his name? For Bitcoin is good. This is long term good for Bitcoin, which is I did that one already. Okay. So since I've decided I was wrong, although I was not the only one that was wrong. I was not the only one that was wrong and thinking that the economy is going to crash. The economy is not going to crash. And since most people on this fucking channel are pissed off, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin 20 years ago, blah, 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 blah. You made so much money. Again, you're a bunch of fucking shitty fucking communists who just fucking hate Jews. Ricardo Williams, hey, how's it going? We warned you that Bitcoin would crash, but you didn't listen. Your IQ must be this tall to ride this ride. See, now I'm off track a little bit. What was I going to say? I'll get it in a moment. So the economy is not going to fucking crash, right? A lot of people pushed that theme, and I bought into it. So I was wrong, and now you got to think differently about a bunch of different things. The more that they catch these bad guys in the crypto space, and then they're going to come up with a way to regulate all these altcoins, which are all shit coins. This will the regulations put in place by the federal government will give confidence to big money investors to pump it, but that's gonna take probably still a couple of years. You know what I mean? If they catch all the hackers, all these retards, like I said, who were literally handed the keys to the fucking kingdom and stole shit and then said, I don't know what happened. And nobody had the balls to fucking call them out. That they finally caught all these people and they're going to put them all in fucking jail and send everybody back whatever they lost or as much as they can. This is going to put a lot of confidence that the Bitcoin system works as digital property, right? In the world of real estate, if you fake something in real estate, if you say you own a building you don't own and you sell it, there's all kind of protections and safeguards and stuff that are built into law. Okay. That's been for centuries and centuries. That's the way it's been. That's why people like real estate. And now what you're seeing in real time with that story that I just showed is how the federal government is putting in place legal precedents so that should you somehow be cheated or robbed, if the federal government can reach out and touch these people, they will, and then they'll get you your property back. That is confidence inspiring, and people do things based on confidence and certainty. There's no such thing as fucking wild, fucking mavericks that take chances. That's crazy fucking young people, like young white dudes doing dumb shit. Every now and then lightning strikes and it works out for them. but almost everyone really, they want certainty and a guaranteed fucking income, like Northern Hobbs. They said, listen, you're never going to be able to have a fucking job. Just run a fucking honeypot thing, talk about Hitler 24 hours a day, and, give us we'll get the IP addresses of all these people in fucking trailer parks that are fucking doing like double Hitler or whatever to your show. And then if we can convince them to shoot up a synagogue or whatever, attack a federal building, we'll give you $250,000. And Norvin's like, I got no way to fucking make $250,000. Fuck it, I'll do that. All I got to do is sit in front of a fucking camera. So he does it. You know what I mean? How else is he going to make fucking money? He's not going to get a job. Chris Olton, fairly sure we're still headed into a recession. Yeah, but for who? Like for fucking who? When I think about this, and I'm telling myself the economy's going to crash. The Fed did raise the interest rates. The S&P did the thing. That only happened twice before, 1929, year 2000, blah, 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 blah. Post-COVID, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And I convinced myself that this was going to happen. But my eyes are telling me it's not going to happen. And what do I mean by that? I have to drive up to White Plains, New York. Oh, by the way, I got fucking Biden landed there the other fucking night, cocksucker. Luckily I know a bunch of back roads and I got out of there. I didn't get locked down, but so Sunday afternoon, getting past the George Washington Bridge is impossible. I don't drive over the George Washington Bridge. I drive over a different bridge, but you cannot get past where the George Washington Bridge is because there's so much traffic going from Jersey back into New York that it floods everything, every fucking highway, every secondary road, every surface street, every fucking thing, with people seeking the quick way back to New York. And there's just too many cars and not enough road. And I know that when I'll get half a mile from where I need to be, and I'll sit for 40 or 45 minutes, creeping until I can get free from all that. Okay. So that happens every fucking Sunday. And I'm thinking, well, where's this economic collapse? If there's a fucking collapse, the highway should be fucking empty, but they're not empty. And then recently, because a lot of the parts warehouses by Teterboro Airport are near, what is it? I don't know what the fuck they call it. It's the Meadowlands. I don't know what they call the stadium anymore today. But the sports ball stadium. It's fucking people tailgating. There's 50,000 fucking people going to see fucking sports ball on fucking Sunday. And I'm like, really, a bunch of drunken people in their cuck blankets with the name of their favorite Negro on the fucking back, like drinking and having a barbecue in a parking lot. You think, well, that's pretty fucking lame. Well, that's their fucking life, right? And using fucking portable toilets and shit. Yay, football, America. Yeah, I don't know about portable toilets in a fucking parking lot as America, but maybe it is. But they're still there, like thousands and thousands. And I'm like, why? Well, like, why are these people still fucking doing this? They did the Black Power NFL, and then they did what else did they fucking do? The gay NFL. They're like doing all the shit that fucking motherfuck these sports ball cocksuckers still fucking go to these fucking games. I don't know what they're paying for tickets. Maybe the tickets are super discounted or something. But they pitch tents and they fucking paint their faces and they do all that stupid shit. And I have to drive past this multiple times a day when there's a fucking game. Because they arrive early and then there's a game and then some stay late, blah, 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 blah. It's a fucking huge headache for me. And I'm like, well, where's this collapse? If 30, 40, 50,000 people can take a fucking Sunday off and get drunk and eat too much fucking food while watching mercenary Negroes chase a fucking ball up and down a fucking field, where's the fucking collapse? How come people have money to do this? So what my eyes were telling me were one thing, and other indicators were telling me was one thing, and I'm like, but I was convinced, no, I have the inside track. Well, listen, when you believe something with all your heart and soul, but the external world for real, not something you see on the screen, is showing you the opposite, you're going to have to give up your inner belief, right? It's the standard Aristotelian worldview, which is when there's a conflict between inner truth and outer reality, you must always choose outer reality. Chris Olton, yeah, but things have only just begun to crack. Company earnings, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So Chris Olton wants to talk about finance. So we will segue now because, well, I guess it's always about money. We will segue to talking about money and how I'm going to change what I'm doing. Not that I'm going to stop buying Bitcoin, As you can see, I have a way to hustle Bitcoin from brown people. So is that not colonial settler exploitism or whatever? Colonial or whatever, whatever, I don't know, whatever. Okay. So everybody comes here and they're like, well, how do I just get a bag of money? James, could you just like tell me how to walk outside my house and find like a suitcase full of $100 bills so I can make a film about how great Hitler was, and everyone will realize that their fathers and grandfathers were the bad guys and Hitler was really the good guy, and all we got to do is be like Hitler and everything will be, and then all the Negroes will swim back to Africa with the Jew strapped to their back. Could you just explain that to me? Well, yes and no, not really. When I was a stock market guy years ago, and I'm about to become one again, after getting my brains bashed in for years and losing a lot of money, I did learn something that is pretty legit, and you can check it out for yourself. What it's called, and you can Google this. You go to Google, wherever your Google is. It's called the best 6 months strategy. What is that? There are 6 months when you should have money in the stock market and 6 months when you should not. The number 6 being kind of key to the people who run the stock market. Okay, what's the best 6 months? One more little divergence here. Many people have heard the stock market phrase, sell in May and go away. You've heard that, right? That's an old school stock market wisdom. Sell in May and go away. Everybody knows that one. Yeah, but it doesn't tell you when to buy. So it's 6 months before that. From November to April is the time to be in the market. And then you sell in May and go away and don't come back till November again. So November started and the market's pumping like crazy. The fucking Fed raised interest rates last week. It's doing this, it's doing that. The market wiggled a little bit, but it's still fucking pumping. I pointed out that Facebook claimed they were going to lay off a bunch of people and they pumped. Facebook, which is down 60% from its fucking high. Almost everything is pumping. Now, let's combine the best 6 months strategy. And here's what I suggest you do, but this is not financial advice. Here's what I'm going to do. I used a Wayback Machine. I used Google, and I Googled top 10 stocks 2022, top 10 stocks in 2022. And here's the list, right? What you will maybe be unsurprised to learn is that 8 out of the 10 stocks are oil stocks or they're energy stocks, and 2 are mining stocks. So I've said they can print trillions of dollars like this, right? And it's not even just printing it electronically. They're not even fucking printing it. They create the money out of thin air. But you can't print 1 trillion pounds of beef. You cannot print 1 trillion gallons of oil or gasoline or diesel, right? Or 1 trillion kilowatt hours of electricity. All that takes real fucking effort and energy, and all that costs money. The more money you print, the less value each dollar has, right? Supply and demand. None of this is controversial. None of this is debatable, right? Greater supply, lower demand. Increase the supply of money, you lower the demand for each individual dollar, okay? That's easy because, they can do it like this. Print. But you can't print, oil. You cannot print oil, right? Okay. Oil companies, coal companies like that, they're going to do best. I just said, Google, show me the top 10 fucking stocks of this terrible year, and you buy one of those stocks. This is the list I got. It came from U.S. News World Report. It's AMR, CEIX, NEX, IDW, INSW, SGML, TRMD, PDF, TH, Target Oil Hospitality. They actually send those skilled dudes all around the world. They're now a publicly traded company, like the guys who have the skills that nobody else has, that they need here and there. Okay, they have to be put up in style because They're not going unless you fucking make it nice. And that one's dirt cheap. That's like $10. And STNG, an oil tanker stock. So I'll show you the list again. Here's the list. This is my AMR, CEIX, NEX, TDW, INSW, SGML, TRMD, PDF, TH, and STNG. So I'm going to speculate on this, right? I'm going to do some speculation. I just opened an account. I'm waiting for it to be the funding to go through. And I'm going to buy call options on some of those stocks that are going to come due. They're going to be deep in the money call options. Come due in April. And I'm going to sell the options in April. And this is speculation. It's not investment. If you wanted to be an investor, what you would do, let's pick TH, because I remember this stock. This one, TH, was like $11, right? And you go, oh, that's cheap. What's cheap? People have weird reactions to price. Oh, that's a cheap one. I'll buy that. That's a good one. Because some of those are like $150, $200 stocks. So you buy TH, right? It's $11 stock. What you do is you click buy for whatever many shares of TH right now. You buy like tomorrow, whatever. And then you put in what's called a stop loss order, which means if the price of the stock drops 95%, you get kicked out automatically. You get sold out automatically, okay? If it doesn't drop, and it's likely not going to drop, when April comes, tax time, the Easter bunny comes, you sell. And that's it. And then you forget about everything until next fucking November. That's the strategy right now. And these are the best performers in the shitty market. So in the best 6 months, they should be the highest performers coming, because everyone knows the Strategic Petroleum Reserve has been emptied to artificially lower oil prices so that the White House can do well in the fucking elections, which they're going to get slaughtered anyway. And someone's going to demand, that the Strategic Petroleum Reserve be refilled, right? That's going to cost a lot of money. That's millions and millions of fucking barrels of oil that's got to go back. Okay, that's going to happen over the winter. Going to drive up demand for oil stocks. Also, the Saudi Arabians, the petrodollar people have told Biden to go fuck himself. Everybody wants fucking electric cars. Saudi Arabia don't want electric cars. So they're not going to play along. You have a conflict of interests here. Saudi Arabia not going to fucking play along. And no matter what they say, there's no way they can crank out 150 million electric cars, which is what you're going to need at least for America. Forget about the trucks. Forget about everything else. 150 million electric cars. If you're like Norvin, well, Norvin's going to die soon anyway. But somebody Norvin's age is going to be fucking dead before they get a tenth of the way there. Okay, it's not impossible for humanity to do this, but realistically, it's not going to fucking happen for decades and decades, right? You won't be able to mine the lithium, to turn the lithium into batteries, to put it into fucking cars. You'll never fucking be able to do it in the next 10, 20, 50 fucking years. So oil's going to be with us for a long time. And while you're fucking the oil guys over, they're not going to want to be fucked over. They're like, you know what? If you're going to put us out of business, we're going to make a shit ton of money between now and the day we go out of business. So we're going to squeeze you to death. You have a conflict of interests here. Now, the elites are not going to give up on their fucking electric car dreams. That's not going to fucking happen. Elon Musk didn't become the richest cocksucker on God's green earth by fucking being smarter than everyone else. He's not. He's a puppet of the fucking Rothschilds. He's there to push this fucking ESG agenda. He's there to push electric cars that they can shut off whenever the fuck they want. They can track by satellite everywhere you fucking go. Don't fucking pretend otherwise. He's not wearing the Satan's minion suit or whatever the fuck it is, just as a joke. Oh, I'm being ironical. Look at me, the third richest man on the planet Earth, being ironical. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking idiots. You fucking retards. By the way, everybody unsubscribe. Everybody fucking unsubscribe from this fucking channel. I tell people to fucking unsubscribe and my subscriber numbers fucking go up. The fuck does that happen? Federal agents, that's how it happens. Okay. Are people getting hurt? Yeah, they're getting hurt. They're getting fucking crushed. All sorts of bad stuff's going to happen, and it's going to keep fucking happening. And I don't know how much is left. They're going to squeeze everything out, okay? And they're going to try and make this stupid fucking electric fucking car dream happen. It isn't going to happen for 100 reasons The electrical grid can't take it. They want to give you a carbon score, like, oh, you use too much carbon, so you can't have a hamburger on your birthday or whatever the fuck, right? Oh, your kids can't have meat for 2 weeks because you did X. The problem is the electrical grid doesn't work that way. If they could shut off like 4 of the 5 boroughs in Manhattan and just keep all the electricity in the Jewish areas of Manhattan, they would do that. Of course they would do that. They wouldn't give the fuck. They didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? But they can't, because the electrical grid isn't set up that way, and you can't modify it that way quickly. It would take, again, decades and decades of guys with tons of skills that they don't fucking have. Illiterate brown people that they march across the Rio Grande are not capable of building a 21st century electrical grid. It ain't gonna fucking happen. All their dreams, all their plans are gonna fucking crash in front of their face, but no one's gonna tell them, listen, you billionaire jerk off, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because anybody with the balls to stand up for them will not be employed by them. And anyone who's employed by them doesn't know the truth. B, couldn't figure out the truth if it fucking bit them in the fucking foot. And 3, doesn't have the balls to fucking say it. So how does a reasonable fucking person think about this? Most of what you're hearing is propaganda. It's not going to fucking crash, because the more they say it's going to crash, the wronger they are. None of them are right. Trump was not right. Christian's not right. None of these other people is right. You don't become a billionaire by being smarter and one step ahead of everyone else. They tell you that, but that's a lie. That's a propaganda. You become a billionaire by being born really close to the source of wealth and making an exclusive fucking deal to bring all the resources to you. You know what I mean? It's not by helping others. Nobody becomes a billionaire by helping others, by being open and fucking honest. Get the fuck out of here. So if they tell you the world's going to end, think the fucking opposite. These people are not on your side. They've never been on your side. Every single one of them will crawl over their dying mothers to fuck their own sisters. Who the fuck are you kidding? But that's why you have to limit what you see and what your information sources are, because they will pump this shit out and it will fucking affect your brain. It affected my brain and a few other guys. Okay, my sports ball buddy that I've been DMing on Twitter, he also thinks there's going to be a big crash for an entirely different reason. He was a golf caddy for years. When he was a golf caddy, one of the guys who's a caddy for got him a job selling bonds, and he actually had a Series 63 back in the day, right before 9/11. And he worked at a bond outfit, and he almost got to work for fucking Bernie Madoff. He knew people that got to work for Bernie Madoff. This guy was like this far away from 100 weird things. Anyway, so he's not like me. He's not an anti-Semite. His best friend is a black dude that he's known since fucking he's 12 years old. He's completely different than me. But I knew him from driving Uber. Anyway, he went from being a golf caddy to being a bond trader to being an Uber driver. How's that for fucking reversal of fortune? But and then he was in a car accident while driving for Uber. He got hit by an 18-wheel truck and needed surgery and stuff. Legit, like fucking really fucked up. So I don't know how much he got paid for that, but basically he kind of retired from that. So he does his little sports podcast. He's on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. And he still plays the market and he bets sports ball stuff. But, and no matter the crazy shit that I put on fucking Twitter, this guy don't block me at all. You know what I mean? And I put a lot of fucking basketball Americans, chopstick Americans, tortilla Americans. I put all that shit on Twitter. But so I'm DMing him back and forth, and he's like, no, I think the market's going to crash. I think there's going to be a big leg down, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, it's not. I said, because if it was going to crash, it would have crashed by October. You know, they did, like I said, they did raise the interest rates, and the S&P popped in the same day. But for whatever reason, they're not crashing it this year. Now, and I'm trying to go easy. I'm like, listen, dude, I could say shit so fucking crazy it would melt your brain, and I don't want to do that. So the people that control this, and he still plays golf and stuff with these like millionaire CEOs. And he told me that a lot of these Wall Street guys who were stock market hustlers, right? Brokers who were ready to retire at 30 or 40 saw what the money that the crypto bros were making. And I did a thing on this months back. They got jealous. They're like, how the fuck are these guys making so much money? It took us years of scamming and cold and working in a boiler room, yelling at people to buy Apple stock to fucking get rich. These motherfuckers make $50 million in a week. They took all their fucking Wall Street money and put it into fucking crypto, and they got their fucking heads cut off. And he told me this. There's dozens of fucking guys at his golf club that were ready to retire in their 30s. How much money you got to scam that you're ready to retire in your 30s? Ready to retire in their 30s or 40s, got fucking completely rugged by the crypto bros. So to me, an interesting little bit of poetic justice, because most people don't know how to make money in the stock market. Most people get fucking screwed because you don't understand how it really works. The way it really works is there are 6 months that are good 6 months. Pick the strongest companies in those 6 months, buy in November, sell in April, and then fucking forget about everything else. You want to be super cautious, buy XYZ stock now, and then put in a 5% stop loss order. So if it drops 5%, you get kicked out. And then if it doesn't drop 5%, you sell it in fucking April and then go on with your fucking life. If you want to be much riskier, then you can do options plays and stuff like that. And if you don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about, then you're dumber than a high school dropout who delivers cardboard boxes for a living. Okay? And then again, you don't belong on this fucking show. Get the fuck off this fucking show. And all you fucking federal cocksuckers, how about, you fucking fund all these motherfuckers overseas with Bitcoin? You could send me some fucking Bitcoin, you prick. There's got to be something left in the fucking leftover from the Richard Spencer operations that fucking, could help me out. You cocksuckers, I got to go fucking make brown people fucking send me money in a parking lot. I have a very hard life for a first world dude. Anyway. What did I do? I'm like an hour and 45. I think, did I do everything? Now I have notes. Of course, I have notes. I'm being so cheap. I'm using the back page of my my old notebook. Oh yeah, that's right. Shit. Here, again, with exciting science news. Everybody knows I had a heart attack back in 2008, and now I'm like an exercise bro, whatever. I used to be like a barbells guy, but I changed what I was doing. I do more like dumbbell stuff and kettlebells and more dynamic things, not static acts of strength, whatever, not static lifting. So anyway, when you get older, everybody's like, people were asking me if I was going to go on steroids. And I'm like, I'm afraid. There's a bunch of reasons why I don't want to go on steroids. One, I had a heart attack. It's contraindicated. And two, I really don't want to be, I don't want the problems that are associated with steroids. But there's a bunch of Lift Bro content I was watching. And there's a dude that was, he was a power lifter / strongman guy. And he was married. And his wife said, I want to have kids. And the thing is, when you take testosterone and like, here's what really happens. You take exogenous testosterone, whether you inject it or you rub it in creams, your body stops making it, right? You put extra testosterone in your body, right? Your body stops making it. Why? Because underneath your brain is your pituitary gland. And there's a receptor in the pituitary gland that's like, how much testosterone was in that blood? How much testosterone was in that blood? And it monitors the level. And if it's too high, it goes, okay, stop making testosterone. And somewhere around 38 years old, that thing switches on and goes, okay, don't make so much testosterone. And that's where you do like 38, 40 and you become wise or whatever. You just mellow, whatever. So your testosterone level drops until it's nearly non-existent. For lift bros who take exogenous or outside the body testosterone, the body stops making testosterone faster because the pituitary gland reads how much testosterone is in your fucking blood. And you're like, dude, you're like 10 times the normal level. So it shuts down your body's testosterone production, natural production. And even if you go off steroids, it can be, they may not be able to jumpstart it. There's something that doctors have found will jumpstart testosterone production for ex-lift pros who used to be on steroids. And bizarrely, as bizarre as it may sound, it's a female fertility drug. You heard that right. There's a drug that's been given to women for like 50 years called Clomid or Clomiphene. And it's for women who can't get pregnant, right? And when you give it to women, it lowers their estrogen level and then it helps them get pregnant. You go, well, so what the fuck does it have to do with lifting weights and testosterone? Well, apparently when men take it, the switch that says stop making testosterone gets shut off. So your body just keeps making testosterone. So theoretically, without taking anything outside, any exogenous testosterone, you could to get your numbers back up to where they were when you were 18 or 19 years old. Sending Bitcoin overseas and blah, 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 blah. I got a bunch of this stuff. I'm thinking about taking it. To be honest, first time they sent it to me, the post got stuck in the Philippines and I didn't get it. The shit ships from India. So I don't know if I'm going to take this or I'm not going to take it, but apparently it's easy to get on and easy to get off. Not a whole lot of side effects except vision side effects, which I'm worried about. I haven't taken it yet. I just got the box today. So I may end up doing that. So I don't know. Could I make myself effectively 19 again? Maybe. I don't know. Without doing anything particularly dangerous. It's considered a safer route because you're not taking exogenous chemicals. It's just the switch in your hormonal system that says stop making testosterone gets blocked. And your body keeps pumping to whatever its max is. It seems to me like an idea that might work for me. I mean, not that I'm in that terrible shape, but I'm just looking to maximize things. Looking to maximize things in a legal way that doesn't hurt me. So, it sucks. It sucks getting closer and closer to fucking 60, but I'm trying to figure out how to fucking make 60 less sucky than it's probably going to be. Most people don't have this problem most people don't have this problem. And the thing about this drug is it's dirt cheap. It's like fucking with shipping was like less than $100 for a 6-month supply. So it's like crazy. It's like dirt cheap, almost no side effects, likely to produce a good result. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I probably won't know what happens for like 6 or 8 weeks until after I start taking it. But if I get vision problems, I can go off it right away. And apparently there's no negative side effects to going off it right away. You can cycle on and off with almost or very no side effects. That's what I'm thinking of doing. Did I cover everything? Yeah. So yeah, Ukraine is bombing for profit. That's what it is. It's that meme. It's not a meme that's like complex and it's not Heideggerian and it's fucking problem reaction solution. It's not whatever, it's listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bomb the shit out of the Ukraine. We're going to charge the American taxpayer. Then we're going to rebuild the Ukraine and we're going to charge the American taxpayer. And anything of value that comes out of the Ukraine after that, we're going to sell to the American taxpayer. It's a fucking money deal like everything else. That's why the suitcase is full of money going everywhere. That's why Zelensky's parents are buying fucking multi-million-dollar homes in fucking Israel. That's why they're catching all these fucking diplomats with suitcases full of fucking $100 bills crossing into fucking Poland or wherever. It's all a rob job, and the American taxpayer is the sucker. The American taxpayer is the one who's fucking getting robbed and going to continue to get robbed. So, Chris Alton's in the chat. He's like, oh, well, company earnings are, listen, that's all fucking bullshit. They can make shit appear and disappear. Right before COVID, all the CEOs of the top fucking 100 companies, they all retired right before COVID, you remember? And then in March, COVID hit and the stock market went down and then boom, bounced right back up. It was a V-shaped recovery because CEOs don't run the stock market. You know what I mean? They don't, and they never fucking did. The people that run the stock market are the people who own the Federal Reserve. And that is That's the Warburgs, the Rothschilds, some other Cohens, whatever. I'm not Cohens, whatever they are. They're the ones who control all of this shit and always have. And they can make it rise or fall whenever the fuck they want. So, and they don't want it to crash yet. So it's not going to crash. And what was the other thing? What was the other thing I have? Oh, yeah. Here's how they're going to pump. They're going to fucking pump the market. I don't even know what this means. This is where shit gets so complicated. I don't even understand what this is, but this is a central bank, treasury, Wall Street, fucking whatever kaleidoscope of shit. That means the government supports the stock market. I just got this from today, right? Talk about the market. Is the market going to crash? No. Just in, this is to December quarter. That is to say, the next 3 months, right? Treasury expects, that's the federal government, to borrow. The federal government is going to borrow $550 billion in privately held net marketable debt. So the government is going to borrow money from private companies and pay them back interest, I guess. Take the debt. Basically, the federal government is going to remove the debt from these corporations. So by removing the debt, it increases their profit, right? Increases their profit ratio because they have less debt. They have no debt or less debt because the government bought it all. And then during January to March 2023 quarter, Treasury expects to borrow even more, $578 billion. That's over $1.1 trillion in new debt in just 2 quarters. So that means the federal government is going to remove $1 trillion of debt from these companies so their stocks can pump in the next 6 months. Right? That's what it means. That's the way I read it. So all these companies, but earnings, blah, blah, blah. Chris Holton, earnings this, earnings that. Well, their debt's going to disappear. Their debt to fucking income ratio is going to skyrocket. Why? Because the debts have been pushed off to the federal government. The federal government bought $1.1 trillion of debt to fucking kick off a fucking rally from November to April. The best 6 months. Sell in May and go away. Have they been doing this forever? I don't know, maybe, but that's what's going to happen, Chris Holton. The federal government is going to support the economy in ways that are so Byzantine and confusing. Nobody understands how it really works. And it's going to continue to work until it breaks. And I don't know what that date's going to be. I wish I knew. In the meantime, you stack Bitcoin as much as you fucking can between now and that day. But, and whatever way you mine fiat, what Bitcoin is called mining fiat, you do that. You just do that. You know what I mean? Take risks, don't take risks, perform services, provide fucking goods. I don't fucking know. All right. But trusting the system, as insane as it is, the government's going to take on $1 trillion worth of debt in the next 6 months. For what? To support the market? So that means the market goes up for the next 6 months. The federal government literally supporting, and what will they do next year? Do they need $2 trillion? They'll do $2 trillion. The treasury will take in $2 trillion. I like accounting tricks on top of accounting tricks on top of fucking accounting tricks that no one could, at the end of the day, you don't fight it. You go, all right, I'm going to go along or I'm going to step aside. I'm just going to opt out. Bitcoin is opting out. Like it or don't like it. Central banking, central to communism. So are you a communist? This is the question you ask yourself. Are you a fucking communist? If the answer is no, I'm not a communist, you have to be opposed to central banks. The fifth plank of communism is a central bank. The fifth plank of communism is a central bank. Read the Communist Manifesto. I'm not going to read it, but you can read it because you people love to pretend to read books. Read the fifth plank of fucking communism, central bank. So you hate communism, want to destroy the commies? Destroy central banks. Get it? Don't want to be a Bitcoin guy. You think, oh no, we're going to have gold discs. We're going to be like the Cowboys. We're going to have a big wooden box and a fucking horse-drawn carriage with a guy with a scatter gun and the fucking stagecoach coming into fucking Oklahoma, whatever. And we're going to trade gold coins or whatever the fucking stupid shit you think you're going to do. You're not going to do any of that. In fucking Malawi, they figure out this how to send Bitcoin on fucking cell phones. And you think you're going to be trading Bitcoins, you're going to be trading gold coins for fucking and carrying a 6-shooter like the Cowboy days. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. So the economy is not going to crash. Not this year, maybe next, maybe the year after. I don't know. They don't have a central bank digital currency ready because they tried it in Nigeria and it fell on its face. And Ukraine, it's not about Russian nationalism. It's not about, it's about fucking bombing for profit. Bombing our cities to improve our economy. But we're not bombing American cities. We're bombing foreign cities. Because there's more money to be stolen over there. And if you bombed American cities, white guys might get jobs as welders or fucking plumbers or fucking carpenters. And they don't want that at all. You know what I mean? There aren't that many transgender guys who can pour concrete or sweat pipe or to do electrical work. So we're gonna have to push it. We're gonna have to make all the money over there, and especially where the accounting rules in Ukraine are gonna be real fast and fucking loose. So 60 billion for the war, double, triple that for the fucking reconstruction. And then the government pats itself on the back and tells America to fucking pat itself on the back over this fucking shit. And we end up paying fucking interest on all that fucking debt. Buy Bitcoin, kids. Do whatever you got to do, however you're going to do it. Do speculation, do whatever. I'm going to do some speculation because I live well below my means. And you do what you want to do. But to pretend that that fucking Ukraine war is anything other than bombing for profit is to be beyond fucking naive. Beyond naive. All right. So 55 subscribers. The last 5 subscribers got to be fucking feds. Notice where that band of feds Norvin leaves. He got to go follow his bosses. His bosses get kicked out of the room. He has to go too. Right? There's some shit that's obvious. You just have to. You just have to be able to see what it is. Ricardo Williams. Oh wait, I already banned him. So anyway, all right. So it's 2 hours. 2 hours. Gotta go to work tomorrow. Like I said, today was a terribly fucking emotional day. I had a very negative experience that I didn't want to have. But whatever. Things happen. Things happen and you have to fucking move on anyway. So I will talk about the rest of the shit, the fucking making money in the market and the fucking phony pumping. And do you join it? Do you not join it? Depends on your risk tolerance. I have a high risk tolerance. Probably you don't. But, everybody's like, well, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin in 2009. Oh, the other thing is Trump. Is Trump going to be president again? I don't know. Maybe. At first, I thought I didn't want that. Like, he's annoying to me. He looks like shit. I'm watching a video of him. He's fucking shuffling and heavy and slow. He looks like crap. He's not the 2016 Trump that was a lot of fun. He's like a jerk. He really sucks at what he's doing. He might win anyway, but he sucks. And then I thought, well, all right, what's my interest in this? And here's the answer. My interest is Bitcoin. So how much was Bitcoin when Trump was elected? Bitcoin was $650 for one Bitcoin when Trump was elected. I know everybody's going, I would have bought it. I would have bought it if I'd have known. No, you wouldn't have fucking bought it, you lying cocksucker. So when Trump was elected, Bitcoin $650. When Trump was evicted, Bitcoin $12,000. That's roughly the price that Bitcoin was. So Trump wants to be president again. Okay. He was good for Bitcoin last time. He'll be good for Bitcoin this time. That's the way I see it. I'll just avoid all his shitty fucking quips that somebody else writes for him, and I will bite my fucking tongue when I'm around my family and at levels that will cause my mouth to squirt blood. But whatever, that's that. But will it be good for me? Yeah, because I hold Bitcoin, and Trump was good for Bitcoin. Obama was the best, of course, 0 to 650. But I'll take 650 to 12,000. So whatever Bitcoin is when Donald Trump gets reelected in 2024, I'll take 20x from there. I'll take 20 times in 4 years. I'll take that. Works for me. In the meantime, we had feds. We always have so many feds here, and it's so wonderful to know that I get so much fucking love and attention from my government. But whatever, I banned a bunch of them. So make them all fucking make new sock accounts and come back next week. All right, 2 hours. 2 hours, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered everything. We covered a lot of fucking ground. Some of the stuff we're going to have to go over next week again. All right. With that, to the feds, to Norvin Hobbs, even to Norvin the Cripple, Judas Fly Chai, Virgil Dog, Purple Heart, and everyone that's going to listen or watch in the next coming days, make sure to smash up that like button, especially if I banned you. But smash the like button on your way out because it pisses the fucking feds off to no end. And whatever, I'll see you guys next week.